Howdy, hey, and hi. Marieanne here, the Crochet Clogger. Thanks for joining me today. Today is Tuesday, April the 21st. Happy Earth Day! Now, I'm not exactly sure if this video will be put up later tonight because it's already evening, about 7 o'clock, I think. Or maybe I'll schedule it to come up tomorrow. But anywho, yesterday, on my post tab, I'm trying to remember the new lingo. On my post tab, I went to Walmart, and it's probably been at least 2 months, if not longer, since I have gone to Walmart. But anyway, I needed to go, and because get to the point. I kind of go around the bush. My brother used to remind me, stop beating around the bush and get to the point. Okay, the point is, I went and moseyed down the clearance aisle, which I always love to do. Had a hard time finding it because they moved it, but I did find it, and lo and behold, I found some yarn on clearance. I did put this, like I said, on my post tab, but it is called... I had to take the label off and then turn it around to get the pattern. It is called Flower Power by Red Heart. It all in one. Remember when these came out where you could do a square? So this one called for, here it is. It was on the clearance aisle marked at $5. Now, when I went, let me show you the blanket that it's got showing. So that's kind of what the squares look like. It's a flower in the middle. It's not just a granny square. It's a flower. So therefore, I guess it's Flower Power. Yeah, it says no color switching. Keep on stitching, which is kind of cool. But when these came out, and I'm not exactly sure how long ago it was, but when they came out, I wanted so bad to buy one skein just to try it. And so when I saw them in the clearance, I'm like, I'm going to get one and try. And also, I had somebody in mind. My sissy-in-law, she asked me to teach her how to do a granny square. She wants to make her a little blanket for her new grandbaby girl. And so anyway, I had her in mind. Now, she has done a scarf before, and I think... back and forth and back and forth. I think it was double crochet. So beyond that, I don't know how much she knows. I'm not too sure. Anyway, but because I don't know, she and I and her friend, we sat down, this is a couple of years ago at least, and we kind of crocheted together, and I helped them learn. And so my sis-in-law, she made a scarf, and I'm pretty sure it was double crochet. But beyond that, I'm not sure if she's picked it up anymore or not. But she did find out that she needs a little bit more instant gratification. So she was thinking, and I think she's right, that a square would be a little bit more gratifying quicker. So what I did was, and let me show you the colorway. I took the label off so I could see the pattern. But there's the colorway. It's a dusty blue or a denim blue and a white and a green. And I like this colorway. I really do. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. The name of this colorway is called Come On Clover. And if you saw my post with the pic, they had a lot of this stuff. Okay, so... my thought for my sis-in-law is a traditional granny square. So the first one that I made is a traditional granny square, which is not what the pattern calls for Flower Power. Because I know this is not technically a flower square, right? But for my sis-in-law, I think anybody that wants to do squares should do a traditional granny square first. That's just my opinion. I just, it's the beauty of it is too, and like I was telling my sis, you get to go in the spaces instead of the stitches. So you can almost close your eyes and do it once you get good at it. Anyway, so this is made with a 5mm hook, H, I think, in US terms. The pattern calls for 5.5 I hook. I did this, I went in and out and then ripped it out, because you do have to make sure that the colors stop appropriately and in the right places, which is not that hard. The problem will be, you may, if you have a lot of color left, say for instance, before you get to the blue from the green, you may have to rip out a little bit back on the green and loosen up a little, so that it rings more. Exactly, yeah, or if you don't have enough, you're going to have to tighten up a little, obviously, right? So it took me a little bit to do that. And I also found that it only worked with a magic ring rather than making a ring by crocheting a short chain. Okay. But I got that figured out too from my sister-in-law. Anyway, so I did this one first, and I also was able to had enough of the blue left to do a single crochet around all the way, which is, to me, kind of cool. All right, and the other one I did, which I haven't cut and tied off yet, because I wanted to show you first, is what the pattern called for. And let me show you. Right? Which is pretty. Don't get me wrong. But I did exactly, as the pattern called, and I used the 5.5 I hook. And do you see how loose I had to be, particularly with the green? I also had let me back up. I was able, because I did this one first, I had a lot of blue left. So what that made me think is my sis will have more to play with to do a chain ring as opposed to a magic ring, right? So I'm like, oh, that'll be good. But anyway, where was I? Beyond a little bit before I get thinking that. Oh yeah, my tension around the green is, look, it's like a little boop. Anyway, yeah. My tension around the green had to be loose. And so then when I got to the blue, I don't know why I tightened up. But I'm not going to rip it out and try again, because we're not going to do this pattern. My sis ain't. She is going to do this, because I'm sorry. Has nothing to do with the fact that I did this or anything. Not because I did it, but these colors, okay? This is my OCD. I can't help it. I like the spaces in the granny square as opposed to not the spaces over here, because to me, this makes the colors look better together. If I had designed this yarn, boy, I sound... I would have put this as white, this as green or blue, but the white needs to separate the green and the blue, in my opinion. It just should, because there's not enough separation. Now, if this was a light pink, well, why then we couldn't call it Clover, whatever it's called. What's it called? Come on over, Clover. We couldn't call it that, right? But anyway, so that's my opinion. So I have, like I said, I hadn't cut. I'm going to rip it out and do more of this one. I think that's pretty. And you know, it would look, to me, I think this would look good if you do a few squares. Like if you're making a small blanket, maybe a blanket for the couch or what have you, or throw. You wouldn't need all that many squares, but I would do some in this off-white and then and then this. And then that way, intermingle the off-white with this so you can have more of a breakup of this green blue. And trust me, I love blue. Blue is my favorite. And my next, well, actually, my most favorite is more like a aqua color, which is, or turquoise, which is kind of blue-green, right? So I love green too, you know. But I just don't think that they look that good together without some kind of, you know, space. So I've said enough. I repeat on myself. But anyway, I do believe, I did talk to my sister-in-law, and she did say that she liked this one better. And it would be better for her as far as the learning process. Of course, she's going to practice on something else for a while till she gets used to how it works. So, anyway, I guess that's it. And that's my opinion. I'm not, you know, I'm not knocking anything, but that's just, you know, I'm not trying to knock the designer or anything like that or anything. I just think that these colors look better as and you know. All right, I'm repeating. All right, then, that's all I had to say, and I've been talking for 11 minutes and 15 seconds, so hey, gibby gab, gab, gabby, gab, gab, gab. It's nice gabbing with you. Thank you. Hopefully, I'll be back real soon. Bye. I hope everybody had a good Easter, too. Happy belated Easter, and happy Earth Day. Oh, and the Pope. Prayers. Yeah. And this is, what is this year? This year is every 25 years. What's it called? And I can't even think of the name of this year. In the Catholic faith, every 25 years. Who could tell me what it's called? I can't remember. How terrible. Oh, well. This is that year. So may he rest in peace in our prayers. All right, so anywho, love you guys. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.